What up, Timmy's here. Well, since July is pretty much over, I'm of course going to be doing my rankings of the films I saw in July. Lots of really good ones, some not so good ones. So, like, I've been doing, I'm going to be going for my, because I pretty much saw about 23 films here. So, pretty much, like, from my favorite to, or my least favorite to my favorite. So, alright. 23, the worst film I saw this month is Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black, starring Megan Good. You also had Corey Hardrick. You have Ava, who's a young black professional who is devastated when her husband Dallas abandons a marriage. She is determined to fight for it until fate intervenes. And Tyler Perry, man, first he did Mia Culpa, which is awful, and now he went on ahead and do this. It's such a shame because I do like Tyler Perry. His Medea movies I always get a kick out of, but lately he's been really slacking here. Hopefully that like war movie he has coming, hopefully that's better. But and maybe whatever Medea film he has in the future will be better. But yeah, it's not all that great. Like this movie is just it's just all over the place. It's not as bad as let's say Mia Culpa was, but it's still a pretty poor one. Like a lot of stuff didn't make any sense. Like didn't care much for the characters. I'm like, it's a shame too because Tyler Perry could be great, but although he is actually not that bad of an actor, by the way. Like when he's even in something that he's not directing himself, he can actually be pretty solid. Like remember he was in Gone Girl and he was pretty good at that. So all right, number 22, I'm going with Boneyard. Now, Boneyard starred Mel Gibson and 50 Cent, and this had a little bit like a Seven or a Silence of the Lambs feel to it. Where an FBI agent and chief of police, played by Gibson and Jack, and 50 Cent, are on the hunt for a serial killer known as the Bone Collector. But the chief fears that the killer is actually one of his own officers. This is actually based on a true story here, and it's a terrible one. Like the chemistry between Mel Gibson and 50 Cent didn't do anything for me. It really was just like a home video based thing. Nothing about really fascinating me. I mean, the story, by the way, this is of course based inspired by real life event, but even that didn't save it. All right, number 21. I actually just saw check this one out online. It's a movie called The Girl in the Pool. Now, this stars Freddie Prinze Jr., who plays as where like a well-to-do family man is forced to struggle through a surprise birthday party, moments after hiding the murder corpse of his mistress. And I love Freddie Prinze Jr. Whether it's like I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scooby Doo, and all. Hopefully he comes back for the new I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel and all. But this is just awful. I mean, it's not as bad as let's say Night Swim. So pretty much another Night Swim situation. But yeah, nothing about it really fascinated me. It was completely boring. Didn't care much about the characters at all. It's terrible script, dialogue, and yeah, hopefully Freddie Prinze Jr. tries to make more of a better comeback here. But yeah. All right, number 20. This one actually was really interesting, but yeah, it really fell flat. And that is The Inherence. It stars Peyton List, who you might know from Cobra Kai fame. At least she had the return of Cobra Kai, so at least she had one on one. But this also had the likes of Bob Gooten, who you might remember from Shawshank Redemption fame. And it's where a billionaire Charles invites his children back home out of fear that tonight someone or something is going to kill him. He puts each of their inheritance on the lines to make sure they'll help. So pretty much like if he pretty much puts their inheritance. So let's say if he ends up actually getting killed or no one gets the inheritance, and of course his children actually go one by one. So a very interesting premise, but my God, this thing it was really terrible here. I mean, I like the cast list. Pam List is always great, but yeah, I mean, you even think like one of the stars will be like one of the leads, but they end up literally a bit of a spoiler, but they end up literally getting killed off like towards the beginning. I'm like, really? Then something else happens, and it's just yeah, it's really terrible. Not wasn't all that scary. The performances wasn't all that good. So yeah, not that good of a horror from there. All right, number 19, I'm going with Find Me Falling, which stars Harry Connick Jr. and it was a Netflix rom com where Harry Connick Jr. plays a rock star, an American rock star who takes a break from his career to live in a remote house near a cliff in Cyprus, which he discovers is a suicide hotspot. And of course, he also falls in love here as well. And it's yeah, I mean, I like Harry Connick Jr. too. Like, remember he was in the Iron Giant and stuff. He's a pretty good singer too. But yeah, this just really felt like a terrible Hallmark film. Nothing about it really. I mean, I like a good rom com, but nothing about this really fascinated me at all. And yeah, all right. Number 18, I'm going with Space Cadet. Now, Space Cadet, I was actually really interested in seeing Space Cadet, because I thought the trailer was really fine. You had Emma Roberts, who plays Rex Simpson, who's a Florida party girl who dreams of becoming an astronaut. A first falsified application leads her into astronaut training with other cadets. And yeah, this one wasn't really all that funny. Like, Emma Roberts played her part okay. You had Gabrielle Union, Tom Hopper from Umbrella Academy fame was in this, but it just wasn't all that great. It really didn't do anything for me. It was a little boring at times too. Didn't care much for the characters, and yeah, terrible script too. So I mean, this really did felt like more like a early 2000s comedy based thing, which I love early 2000 comedies, but it really felt like an early 2000 comedy mixed with Gen Z type stuff. So, all right, number 7. I actually just checked this out literally yesterday, and it's called Mother's Instinct, which is pretty much like a Hitchcockian based film, which stars Jess Chastain and Halfway, who plays housewives Alice and Celine, who are best friends and neighbors, who seem to have aura. But a tragic accident shatters the harmony of their lives. Guilt, suspicion, and paranoia begins to unravel their sisterly bond. This was a complete snooze fest. I mean, of course, Anne Hathaway and Chester Chastain, they both really had good chemistry with one another. They were both pretty good, but even their performances couldn't save this film. Like, nothing about it really was all that great. I almost fell asleep while watching this. So, I mean, if you guys want, I don't know, want to check out something that might make you go to sleep, this is definitely one of them. All right, number 16. This is actually not a bad little film. We got Chestnut. Now, this stars Nana Dyer from Stranger Things fame. And during the summer after graduating from college, Annie is struck in her university town of Philadelphia. After meeting Tyler and Danny in a bar, Annie becomes entangled in a love triangle with them. And the show, Rachel Keller and Damon Ramirez, of course, who's going to be in the upcoming Captain America: Brave New World. They were both pretty good in this. Not a bad little film here. Natalie, I think, is terrific on Stranger Things, so I'm glad to see her branching out more here. Not a bad little film if you guys haven't seen that. All right, number 15. We got Spread. Now, Tubi movies could sometimes be a hit and miss, mostly misses. But this is maybe one of their better films. This one actually has Elizabeth Gillis, who you might know as Jade West from Victorious. Harvey Keitel was in this. It's actually where a ambitious journalist lands a job at this failing adult magazine run by an industrial veteran, and must recite to her ideals, having reviving the business. And Elizabeth Gillis, I actually thought was really charming in this. Maybe one of the better acting performances I've seen on a Tubi film, to be honest with you. Definitely had some really decent charm to it. Harvey Keitel was pretty funny; like, he really played his part very well. Deirdre Bader was also in this. Terry Polo from The Fosters fame was in this too. Not a bad little film. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on Tubi. I mean, it's not going to be for everyone, but I mean, it's literally a film about people working for an adult magazine. So there's that. But not a bad little film. All right, number 14. I'm going with The Real Bros of Simi Valley, the movie. With the Simi high 10-year reunion around the corner, Xander and his squad embark on a journey to become the sickest versions of themselves in time to flex or their old classmates. Now, this is actually, of course, pretty much based on like a YouTube, not a YouTube, a Facebook, a watch series, which I've actually seen before. And the film was actually pretty fun. Jimmy Tatro, who of course was in the series, was pretty great in this. Zoe Deutsch, Tyler Posey was also in this. This was a lot of fun. I mean, definitely has a little bit like a hidden camera type film. I mean, this is pretty much inspired by like those terrible Real Housewives shows, and this is actually much better than any of those put together. All right, number 13. I'm going with Descendants: Rise of the Red. This is actually much better than Hanging Tension Thing. I mean, it's not as good as the other Descendants movies. I would admit that, but I actually thought like the music was pretty good. Um, really cool that they paid tribute to Cameron Boyce. I thought that was really nice. You also had Kylie Cottrell, who of course plays the role of Red. And of course, you got Cinderella's Door here. I mean, seeing Brandy return as Cinderella's cool. Rita Ora was great in the show. So, not bad one. I mean, if they could, I'm pretty sure they're going to announce a fifth one at D23. But if they announce another one, I'm all for it. Alright, number 12, I'm going with My Spy Eternal City. Once again, starring Dave Bautista, Chloe Coleman. Now, this time around, you have JJ, played by Bautista, who is pursued to accompany Sophie, played by Coleman, on her school trip to Italy, where they become involved in pretty much a plot to take out the world here. Uh, and Dave Bautista, like the first film was a lot of fun. While this isn't as funny as the first My Spy, I still had some fun time with it. The chemistry between Dave Bautista and Chloe Coleman I thought was really great. Anna Faris was terrific. Ken Jeong was also in this. Yeah, I had a lot of fun time with this project. All right, number 11, I'm going with The Imaginary, which is a narrative focuses on Roger, who's a boy who is one of the invisible entities known as Imaginaries, created by a girl named Amanda, who is coping with emotional loss. And this, is, of course, a anime, and it's a really decent, charming film worth checking out. The animation's pretty cool. The story aspect's great. Very touching. I mean, if you guys have not seen The Imaginary, I say give it a go. Really good one. Now, here is my official top 10 favorite, pretty much my official top 10 favorite films of that I saw in July. Number 10, Skywalker's A Love Story, which is a documentary about this Russian couple who are pretty much known for like pretty much climbing on skyscrapers, which I would never do that in a million years. But hey, I mean that's how they fell in love, I guess. But this is a really decent documentary. I mean, I I would suggest actually doing what they do, like because they're really professionals, and it's a really decent one worth checking out. I mean, if you guys have not seen Skywalker's A Love Story, highly recommend it. It's shame it didn't really get much of a theatrical release because I did remember hearing that this actually got like an IMAX release, but I guess it didn't really get much of a theatrical release. I would love to have seen this thing in theaters, but all right. Number 9 is another documentary called Faye, which is a documentary about Faye Dunaway, and explores the life and career of actress Faye Dunaway, who you might know from stuff like Bonnie and Clyde, the Thomas Crown Affair. Most notable people, like more modern people, probably knows her when her and Warren Beatty, got messed up at the Oscar. I mean, it wasn't their fault, but still. I mean, Faye Dunaway, like this, really showcased on how much of a great actress Faye Dunaway is. I really love that they, had interviews with Faye Dunaway. I mean, this is a really well put together documentary. Had interviews by the likes of Mickey Rourke, Sharon Stone. Really showcased on her career from Bonnie and Clyde to her modern films, and really decent documentary if you guys haven't seen it. All right, number 8, I'm going with Despicable Me 4. This is a really terrific one. I mean, it's not as good as the other Despicable Me movies. I mean, I admit it's probably maybe my least favorite out of the 4, but it's still a really decent one. I mean, we are getting more Minions down the line, so there's that. Uh, of course, the Minions are just as funny. Really cool soundtrack. Like the ending, I really had a fun time with the ending. Like the not gonna spoil it, but the jail ending, really cool there. Yeah, I mean, whether they like, I mean, obviously the next one's supposed to be Minions 3. We'll most likely get a part 5 just with me. I mean, who just doesn't love this franchise? They are just a lot of fun to check out. All right, number 7, I'm going with Fly Me to the Moon. Now, Fly Me to the Moon, it like, of course, directed by Greg Berlanti, who gave us like the Arrowverse. He also did Love Simon. I know he did a really great job here, like capturing the '60s perfect. Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson's chemistry in this was really great. You also had the likes of Ray Romano was in this. Woody Harrelson was great. It was a lot of fun and really decent and trying to worth checking out. Of course, this does take place at pretty much at the height of the Apollo 11 moon landing, and man, the '60s aspects. I really love what they did. Ray, what they did with the '60s. All right, number six. Now, technically, this was actually my anticipated films of June, but I wasn't really able to see it in June, so I was able to actually watch this mostly in July, and that is this little film called Daddy-O. Now, Daddy-O stars Dakota Johnson and Sean Penn, who, you know what, I, I sound like a broken record. I'm just gonna say it. Dakota Johnson is a terrific actress. Yes, yes, she did Madam Web, she did 50 Shades, whatever. But if you just like watch her in other stuff like Cha Cha Real Smooth or Am I Okay on Max, that girl's a terrific actress. And here was really good. I mean, the whole movie pretty much takes place mostly in a cab with like Dakota Johnson and Sean Penn mostly talking throughout. And it's pretty much like those before trilogies, except obviously Sean Penn and Dakota Johnson aren't, on an item, nothing like that. But definitely, like if you seen the before trilogies, you'll definitely appreciate this movie a lot. Uh, of course, the striking friendship with Dakota Johnson and Sean Penn was pretty good. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, you can find it online. I think you can find it on Amazon, like probably rent it too. So not a bad little film if you guys haven't seen it. All right, and my top five. Number five is Twisters, which is a lot of fun. Glenn Powell's great. I mean, if you can feel it, chase it. One of the most iconic lines of the year. Daisy Edgar Jones is terrific. Anthony Ramos was great. So much fun to check out. I mean, definitely watch Twisters there. I think they made a little bit of a mistake opening up like a week before another film, but hey, it still did pretty well there. I mean, it's also supposed to come to like I think VOD this month, which big mistake there, but okay. All right, number four is Long Legs. Nicolas Cage gave one of the most creepiest performances in this film. I mean, what he was able to do in this is insane. Michael Moreau is great, directed by Oz Perkins. He knows horror pretty well. Wasn't big with Grant Hansen, but every good director has been in The Office. But I mean, this definitely has that bit of Silence of the Lambs feel. I mean, Boneyards really felt like Seven, while Long Legs felt like Silence of the Lambs in a way. Although Long Legs was a better film. So there's that. Of course, Alicia Witt was great. Claire Underwood. I mean, Neon really knows horror perfectly, and here they killed it. So if you guys have not seen Long Legs, definitely check it out. Number three, I'm going with Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. I mean, seeing Eddie Murphy back in action as Axel Foley was really cool to check out. Taylor Page is great. Seeing the original OG cast like Judge Reinhold, Paul Reiser is great. Kevin Bacon, which he's actually in this list twice, believe it or not. He was terrific. I mean, this movie really brought back what made the original so unique and so fun. So whether we get officially get part five, that's where I see. But yeah, actually, my only biggest complaint is that they not get much of a theatrical release, but it is what it is, I guess. All right, number two, I'm of course going with Maxine. Mia Goth was excellent. Like this is probably not as great as let's say X or Pearl was, but it's still an amazing one. Kevin Bacon, who's of course cool enough for Kevin Bacon by the way. He was terrific in this. Giancarlo Esposito, great year for him too. Halsey doesn't really have much to do in this, but I actually thought some of her scenes were pretty decent. Lily Collins, some of the kills was pretty cool. Uh, just like Fly Me into the Moon with the '60s aspect, I thought the '80s aspect here looked really cool, and not a bad film there. And my number one best film of July is no surprise. It's Deadpool and Wolverine. I of course saw it 3 times in theaters. It's a lot of fun. Check out. It's really cool. Fourth wall break scenes were pretty awesome. It's a lot of fun. I mean, if you guys have not seen Deadpool Wolverine by now, go check it out. Uh, I mean, if I had the opportunity, I'll probably see this thing 8 times. But hey, there are more movies to see than just Deadpool Wolverine. I mean, I love Deadpool Wolverine. Don't get me wrong, but there are more films I'm also interested in seeing too. So too many 3 or 2 is the pressure there. But yeah, of course, like this, there's a lot of stuff here I want to talk about, but I'm not gonna spoil it. Like I already did my spoil review there, but yeah, just adore this film. I mean, it's also literally my favorite film of the year. Not my only my favorite film of July, but as of right now, this is literally my number one favorite film of the year so far. I mean, whether that change, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, definitely go watch DNW. All right, that's pretty much it. Now here is, of course, my quick rundown. 23, Divorced in the Black. 22, Boneyard. 21, The Girl in the Pool. 20, The Inherent. 19, Find Me Falling. 18, Space Cadet. 17, Mother's Instinct. 16, Chestnut. 5, Spread. 4, The Real Bros of Simi Valley. 13, The Sentence Rise of the Red. 12, My Spy Eternal City. 11, The Imaginary. 10, Skywalker's a Love Story. 9, Faye. 8, Despicable Me 4. 7, Fly Me to the Moon. 6, Daddy-O. 5, Twisters. 4, Long Legs. 3, Beverly Hills Cop XOF. 2, Maxine. And number 1 is Deadpool Wolverine. Now, there were also some I was hoping to see this month because they were my anticipated of July, like Dee Dee, Sing Sing. Probably won't be able to see those, hopefully, by next month, I'm guessing. So I'll probably have to have them in my August list. So there's that. Uh, I was going to see that Fabulous 4, but I was like, I forget that. Yeah, July was a little, I don't know, was a little weak, but hey, at least we got had Deadpool Wolverine with M Magazine and talk about a cool mom. Let me let you guys, uh, what were some of your favorite and worst favorite movies of July? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Henry Zion.